The community and many dignitaries are gathered here today. We're about to unveil the recognition site at Del Cerro Park. This recognition site celebrates the community, government, and all of the resources that were pulled together to provide the funds to close in 2005 on the Portuguese Bend parcel that now makes up part of the Palos Verdes Nature Preserve.
I'd like to thank you, each and every one of you, for coming to celebrate the dedication of this recognition site at Del Cerro. This is to commemorate the acquisition of 400 acres. It basically is the land directly behind me and to the east. There are so many people to thank that you just can't possibly do it all at once. And that is why on the back of your program we have put down the individuals. It was a tremendous effort. The slogan was "Fulfill the Dream," and we certainly did that. There are so many people to thank, and their names are inscribed on this site. I'd like to thank the board members of the Conservancy. I'd like to thank the Capital Campaign Committee, the mayor and the council of RPV, the City of Rolling Hills, Los Angeles County, the Coastal Conservancy, and Wildlife Conservation Board, and especially the Annenberg Foundation, because it was their matching grant that allowed us to really put the fundraising effort over the top. It was tremendous. Contributors to the 2005 capital campaign that we gave a symbolic acre for $37,000 and up. I'd like for those people to raise their hand. Thank you very much. Also, we established the Legacy Circle, where we ask contributors to give $5,000 each year for 3 years. Would those members raise their hand, please? Thank you very much. In addition, our Mariposa Circle, which we asked to give $1,000 a year and up. Would those people raise their hand? The Legacy Circle and the Mariposa Circle are the backbone of our organization. As you know, we don't sell widgets. And for some of you that really understand us, it's feast or famine. But it's this sustained giving that has been able to be the earmark of our organization, to be able to do what we do responsibly for the community year after year. In addition, for those that have been out on the preserve, you might have seen some recognition sites. We call these our overlook recognition sites. They are there due to the significant and generous support of the donors, and that is their recognition at these particular sites. We are very fortunate to have 3 families here today, and I'd like to introduce them that are being honored with these overlook recognition sites. Becky Cool, Don and Martha Tuffley, and Melanie and Richard Lundquist. I'd also like to recognize 2 special families. One is Michael and Virginia Sicoria. Michael is not with us anymore, but it was Michael's faith in our organization many years ago that gave us the ability to sustain. The family's matching grants were critical at the end of the year in our fundraising. This was long before we had all these properties. They believed in the organization, and I truly would like to thank them very much. Virginia, where are you? Another family that before the acquisition came in early to support us with a significant donation is Charlotte and Alan Ginsberg.
Yes.
Again, they supported us long before we had these majestic properties. And it truly is what really sustained the organization. I'd like to thank those families individually, but more importantly, I'd like to thank each and every one of you, because it is your efforts, your contributions, your support, what you do for us that makes this such a great organization. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce our founding president, Bill Ayler.
One of the things that we did when we started the organization very early on was we actually had a group of us that got together and worked on tried to decide what properties were available and what would our priorities be. And the property right below us here was available, and so one of the things was our highest priority. So one of the things that I did was I went down and actually met the landowner, and I tried to meet the landowners of all the major properties around so they knew who we were, what we were trying to do, and so forth. And had lunch with him, very nice fellow, and asked him how much, told him we were interested in acquiring this property, and asked him how much he was going to charge for it, how much he wanted at that time. Anybody want to guess? $250 million. And I'm happy to say that over a 17-year period, his price came down. And one of the things that he said after that, he was quoted in the LA Times as saying, well, they seem to be a very nice organization, nice people, but they don't have any money. And so when the price came down to a sufficient level, we then had to raise the money to do that. And so fortunately, we were able to do that. I just want to give you a little bit of history about that. Up to the point where this property came along, we'd preserved about 400 acres of open space on the peninsula, and we had never had to go to the community to ask for money. We'd been able to do that by either donations of property or we had money available from public sources like the state of California and the county that enabled us to preserve that land. This was a whole new exercise for us. One of the things that we needed as we began this was a very strong partner. And fortunately, we had a very strong partner at that time, and still do. That's the city of Rancho, Palos Verdes. And I can truly say that this acquisition would not have happened had we not had strong support from the city. So I want to thank them. I want just say thank all the council members who are involved in this. That would be Doug Stern. Doug, are you around somewhere? I know you are. Back here. Thank you. Yes. Tom Long, Peter Gardner. I don't think Peter's here. Larry Clark, current mayor. Steve Horowitz. And one of the unsung heroes, I think, was the city staff actually helped us quite a lot too. And I just want to make sure you're aware that Joel Rojas was also very involved in helping us. We also were going to need funding from the public side, so we were fortunate that we had a supervisor who was very supportive of what we were trying to do, and Don Kanabi was able to secure $1 million for this. That was very nice. So Mike Jen is here representing Don. I want to say, please take our thanks back to Don. But we needed a lot more than that. And one of the things that was a real challenge with this was, we were known at the state level, but as you can imagine, there's a lot of competition for funds at that level. And we needed $11.5 million of state money to go into this. So we needed somebody who would work tirelessly to make sure that that money stayed put and was be there when we needed it. And we had somebody in place. That would be our famous ex-executive director, Barbara Dye. So thank you very much, Barbara. Did a fantastic job of keeping that money for us, and it worked just fine. Absolutely. But this is the strange thing about this one, not the strange thing, the unique thing about this one was that we needed to raise about $4 million from the public. We had really never done this before. We had no experience with it, and we needed to put somebody in place who could actually start laying the groundwork for that and actually get the campaign moving. And we had an individual who stepped up and said, "I'll do it." Something we had no clue as to what to do, but he basically worked to figure that out. And that was Jim Scharfenberger. Jim, are you around? Okay, very good. And then Wayne Sharp joined him.